Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hi guys, today was Friday, July 21st. Yesterday was my father's birthday. 14th of July was my birthday. 15th of July was Sacral Chakra guy, if you remember him. It was his birthday. Someone who was very close to me. And I accidentally discovered he was day apart from my birthday. I talked about that in the previous video. Today, I want to recap things that happened in the previous two videos, the things that I talked about in the previous two videos, what happened weeks prior to that, and because some things clarified about that. First, I want to mention something odd and interesting that happened. Few days ago, like a little bit of signs, little bit of synchronicities that happen, little signs that happen to us that show us that we are on the right track. See, I have a very close friend. We don't know each other for a long time, but she's really something I really need now in my life, and she needs me in her life. We're very close. I mentioned her in the previous video how she kind of intervened, made intervention between me and my manifested twin, and talked to him on the phone and gave him some tips about me and how that improved our relationship. How he has been nicer and more careful after he talked to her. She's really amazing friend. Even though she's going through a hard breakup right now, she's been really so unselfish and so not jealous of me, and actually quite the opposite. She's so supporting. So anyways, tonight she was visiting me, and after she left, I texted her to check if she came home safe. She texted me back, and I asked her advice about my manifested twin about tonight, because I'm going through a dark night tonight. And then she sent me a green heart, those emoji hearts, and she sent me a green heart. And I told her right away. I said, "This is what I always send to my twin, my manifested twin. I always send him green heart. I never send him red heart. I don't know. I just it's kind of a thing that belonging to Islamic religion. I am always close to green, color of green. It's kind of color of Islam. The country that I come from in Southern Europe, the green flag with moon and the star, with the young moon and the star of Venus, is the symbol of Islamic association of my country. Like it's a religious flag. Also, flag of Pakistan, where my organic twin flame is from, is about the same design as my country's religious association flag. Well, the national flag of Pakistan is about the same design. It's green and it has a white moon and white Venus star on it, and a bit of a white on the side as well. And so, anyways, green has been color of also Shahada flag, which is the flag that has a statement written in Arabic on it that says La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, which means there are no deities, there are no gods, there are no lesser gods, but one single God, one single source, and that Muhammad is the last of his written prophets. The prophets that in the book, the Revelation prophets. Anyways, so green is also my ancestry color because I have Celtic roots, and green, everybody knows, is like Irish, Scottish traditional color. So also color of nature, Mother Earth, and so I don't know. I just always send him green hearts, and my A friend sent me, we were talking about him, and she sent me the green heart. And that wouldn't be so, I mean, it's possible like she's thinking the same way, we are soulmates. But what is interesting is like a couple of days ago, a few days ago, I found on the ground, remember how I previously told you guys there was times when I was getting signs everywhere just before I met my manifested twin. There was signs everywhere, and my organic twin was silent. Remember how signs were showing up everywhere? They were keeping me sane and they were keeping me on the track. Now this is a sign that I found on the ground just a few days ago. I found a little carton sticker, and it has, I wish I had my camera on turned on right now, but okay, you'll forgive me. Maybe I'll take a photo of this and post it on this video as a photograph. Um, it's a sticker that I found just in front of me on the street, and I picked it up. It has a big green heart on it. Okay, so that's a symbol of my manifested twin right now, of our union. Okay, so I'll talk now about this week. What I realized was, remember how I told you, I may be wrong, I mean, about this, but I have a feeling now I'm really realizing something that, and I'll tell you why I think this. I'll explain a little bit later. But I think when I said devil is preventing, always interrupting me and my manifested twin in form of this, in form of that. Night when I was talking to my friend and I was teaching her some Quran and some chapters of the Quran. I was teaching her the chapter uh, called People. It's 114th. It's the final chapter in the Quran. It's number 114. It's called the People, or An-Nas. It's basically protection prayer. We are asking God to protect us from the evil whispering, from the bad ideas, from negative thoughts that come from, it says, from the evil whisperer, which is that like bad thoughts that come into our heads, bad ideas. But basically then in the end of that chapter it says that come from other people and from jinn. Jinn are invisible people. And jinn are spirits, unsettled spirits, call them whatever you like. Some people call them aliens, some people call them spirits, some people call them ghosts. In Islam, they're known as jinn, and they're just simply entities that are invisible. And they're much like humans in many things, and also different than humans in some other things. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. And so anyways, this chapter says to protect you from evil that come from men and from jinn, so from visible people and from invisible people. But it made me realize that what we call devil, it may not be an entity itself, may not be a being itself, but it's a thought, it's a bad idea, or bad energy that comes, that radiates from certain people to us, from certain humans or from certain spirits. What some of us nowadays call psychic attacks. Psychic attacks can come from people or from invisible world of spirit. Which is basically negative energy sent to us. And then we can call that negative energy, blocking energy, preventing energy that prevents your progress. We can call it devil, shaitan, or Satan, whatever. Dark energy, dark condensed energy that is preventing us to do something. So, on that thought, I'm kind of coming to a realization that maybe what I, in previous videos, what I call devil, what I said devil is trying to prevent me and my manifested twin to feel the bliss, to be happy. It's always like interrupting our conversations, is interrupting our bliss. I kind of I'm just feeling that this may not be devil per se, and I'm not denying that there's an entity that actually uh, exists that people call Satan. I'm not denying that there's an entity, like individual entity, that has existed maybe prior to humans. We call it in Islam Iblis, is like a sort of like leading negative energy source, dark concept. But in my case now, in these past few weeks, I think what is possible, what I'm trying to say here is that my organic twin has found out that I'm engaged, that I'm moving on, that I have found true love through my manifested twin. Maybe he heard from, because community, we share community, we have friends, we have some mutual friends. I did tell some people about my relationship, and so he could have heard lately about it. And I think maybe he's coming back. He is trying to return, not to me. He's not trying to contact me. He's not trying, but he's trying to block with his thoughts. He's like simply blocking with his energy. He's blocking my manifested twin's energy, trying to interrupt us in our conversations, in our communication, in our connection. It's like cutting our connection, because like when it came to sacral chakra guy, I felt very strongly that my organic twin was the one who supported me to connect with that other man. That it actually, what I heard in telepathic um, connection with my organic twin was that he wanted me to heal my sacral chakra from my previous relationship with a closeted gay husband, and that he wanted me to experience love that is pure and raw and organic. But he was not ready to that, and he couldn't, because all my chakras are not balanced yet, nor are his. But he wanted me to work on mine, and so he was like also giving me like green light. Maybe that's why I see green heart everywhere. I don't know, maybe this there's a connection here too. He was giving me green light and a push in that direction in all telepathic um, kind of talks that I felt from him, like when he was trying to reach me telepathically, to go pursue my relationship, my tie with the sacral chakra guy. And it kind of, he led me energetically, he let me go, because before sacral chakra guy, I always felt telepathic connection with my organic twin. Now, when I met my manifested twin, someone who is manifesting all the love that my twin has for me, that I have for him, someone who is like also metamorphosis of my twin in a physical form. Now, suddenly, I have interruptions going on, and I think what's going on is my twin, my organic twin, is returning, and he's not ready to let me go completely. That was not his intention, that someone else will manifest all his love. His intention was that I would just clear my chakras and then wait for him. The universe seems not to want to wait for him anymore, but wants my reunion to happen. So here's a clash of energies going on, and why I also believe this, that this may be my organic twin causing this breaking in communication with my manifested twin is because I've noticed him physically. First of all, I told you that he did show up at the mosque just recently, right after Eid, 1 week after Eid. I saw him briefly. He just ran in front of my car. Just he wanted to be seen, but he didn't turn around. He didn't look in my. He must have seen me when my car was approaching the parking lot. So then he exited his car and he kind of graciously walked in front of my car. As this is not first time he's doing something like that, like strutting in front of me and then pretending that he doesn't see my car, which is funny at the same time, hilarious, cute, and awful, if you know what I mean. Like if you have a twin that's been a runner, that's been doing that dynamics to you for years, like coming to see you, pretending not to see you, calling you, pretending not to be calling you, stalking you, pretending not to care for you, but like hanging around the places where you hang, and all this stuff that is kind of cute and horrible at the same time, like nerve-wracking. So yeah, I saw him again after almost a year. And it was also my intervention because I told his sister that I haven't seen him in a long time. Is he okay? Like, is he even Muslim anymore? And something really weird happened right now, guys. I have two candles lit in my room in the mirror, and they just, I mean, there is no wind in my room. It's very hot night. I'm in Northwest United States. The moisture is like zero. I'm not kidding. This is very dry state. The temperature is like over 90s, and it's after midnight. It's really hot night, so there's absolutely no wind. I turned off my air conditioning so that I can record this video in without noise. So absolutely no movement of air in my room. The candles just lit up suddenly, like when I was talking right now. Wow. And they're now very steady. Both of them are standing up very steady, not making any, just kind of increased their light, both of the candles. Wow. And they're like next to each other, into same two candles, like in the two separate candle holders. Anyways, what I was saying is that, so yeah, he showed up at the mosque, my organic twin. Like some of you predicted that he will show up right around Ramadan or after Ramadan. And then after that, I've been seeing his car across from my house 3 times already. And my mother told me last night he parked across. I wasn't home at that time. I don't know, where was I? I was shopping or whatever. And he parked his car across from my house and then moved in reverse, a little bit like up the street in reverse. And he's excellent reverse car driver. He's done that a lot of times around my street. And I know he's driving, and I know his little crazy things he does to get attention. He used to run a turbo engine. I think I mentioned that in some of my first videos. Yeah, so even my mother told me, she said his car was in proximity of my house last night. Again, this is third time this week. So also channelings of many twin flame workers out there and card readings of many twin flame energetic readers out there show that organic twin is now struggling a lot to connect, but doesn't know how, doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to say after all these years, after all this time or months or whatever. In your case, it is the time lapse. He's just stuck. He doesn't know what to say, but he's trying to make a move now towards you. And mine is trying to do that towards me. So that would explain why my manifested twin is and I are experiencing interruptions. Okay, so yeah, he's been around, and I noticed activity on my Facebook page where I always notice that he's been watching my profile, because I have a page attached to my profile, and when someone is watching your page, then it shows, like it shows how many views you have on your page, and only he knows about my page. The situation around how I created my page in the first place on my Facebook was a long time ago when he knew about it. Nobody else knew about my page, and nobody else visits my page. Like there's no need, there's no activity on it. When he goes to my Facebook, then he always checks on my page as well if there's something new there. And sometimes I do post a few things there just to get his attention. So yeah, that I know that he's been visiting my Facebook like this week 3 times. And about the same time he visited the page, then his car was seen in my street around, close to my house. Um, and I don't feel him as telepathically like that he's saying anything to me, except that through these readings and other twin flame workers who say that he's like really, really in a trouble right now. He doesn't know what to do. He's still not clear with his parents and karmics and friends, and he's getting a lot of still things that are taking his focus, and he's struggling with so many things. But he's trying not to lose his twin, his divine feminine. And in my case, probably if he heard that I'm kind of moving on, then not kind of, but I'm kind of serious about moving on right now, then he's probably feeling anxious to reach out to me before I leave, because I'm actually planning to leave this country. I don't know if he heard about that, but I did tell a couple of people who asked me like, what's my plan right now? What am I doing? I did tell them that I'm planning a trip out of the country to meet my manifested twin. And so what I'm saying is I don't feel telepathically any messages from him to me like directly, but I think what I'm feeling is this blockage that he's doing. He's trying to block um, the manifested twin. I think he's not approving of him anymore, and I don't know what's gonna happen with that, but my manifested twin, on the other hand, was attacked one more time through that child thing that I mentioned in the previous video to that little girl. It hurt me so badly, but I was able to extract that energy, and I want to tell you how I extracted it. So if you need help with that, you can use the same method. It's gonna sound a little bit weird, but it's worth a try if you ever get stuck in a situation like that. So here's what happened. He sent me his photo, and he always likes to impress me, and he's really handsome and impressively good looking, and very much like my organic twin, if not even better looking, younger than my organic twin. Very bright, very beautiful, beautiful human being. And so but he's not kind of guy who would show off his pictures. He doesn't have any pictures on social media. He just sends them to me. And he was sending me a picture, and I sent him my picture. And it was really one that I liked a lot, that I kind of look really cute in. And at that moment, he was looking, and he always comments on my pictures with praising God, and we are both very spiritual, and he always thanks me for sending him my picture. He's very grateful for it. He did the same thing, but then suddenly he said something very hurtful to me. I was shocked. He said, he smiled over the phone, and I thought he was still looking at my picture. It was just a few minutes after I sent him my picture, and he usually normally comments on my picture, and we're still kind of talking about it. Does he like it? What does he like about it? And that moment he was smiling, and I thought he was still looking at my picture, and he said to me, "Do you know why I'm smiling?" And I said, "No, tell me." And he said, "I'm looking at my heart right now. I'm looking at my soul. I'm looking at my," what else he said? Something like very beautiful. And I thought he was talking about me. And then he said the name of that little girl. He said, "I'm looking at her picture." And that shocked me completely. And I knew that still he's not He's not what I first had that feeling about it. He's crazy, that, there's something weird about that child that he feels. Even though he sounded like that, because there was that old woman, remember, that showed up after that to try to block, and because of art. And so he cannot, I mean, logic tells me that he cannot be into old ladies and into little children at the same time if he's crazy. Like, people who are crazy, who are like obsessed with children, are pedophiles, and usually they're not interested in old people. People who are crazy about old people are completely different category. There goes my manifested twin is calling me. I always get good karma from you guys. Love you guys. I'll continue. Okay, so that was my manifested twin. Finally, he called me, and let me tell you why I say finally. I mean, seriously, you guys, when I make this video, the karma is just so great. Alhamdulillah, you guys. This is how I know that what I'm doing, these videos, are beneficial to someone out there. Oh my god, the candle just lit up again. I told my manifested twin right now what happened with my candles, and that's when he called. Like, remember, guys, I said my candle lit up, and I told him now because he told me recently that he loves candles. I was mentioning to him that I have candle in my mirror, that I don't have any other lighting in my room, because he told me that he's worried that his financial situation in his country is not perfect, and that sometimes in his area where he lives the electricity goes off. And I told him not to worry about that. And I'm not big fan of electricity. Sometimes I thought, like, Amish are the smartest people, because they have such a great energy of peace around them, because buzzing and electrical energy is just kind of distracting to us. Most of you know that. So yeah, so I was telling him, like, that night we talked, and I said I don't mind right now I have my light off, and I have just candles, two candles in my room. And he said, really, candles? I love candles. That's what he said. He said, I love the flame of the candles. And that's that's such a nice thing to know. And so now when he called right now, and I put pause on my video recording, I told him about candle just lit up, and I said, I think, did you think about me that then to call me? And he's just smiled over the phone. He's confirming. And now when I just like I just talked to him, and now I'm talking to you guys again, the candle did the same thing again, just lit up like love inside our hearts. Yeah, so why do I say finally he called me? Because always, you guys, when I talk to you on these videos, like, always Friday night energy becomes dense and congested and hard. Ever since maybe beginning of this time that I started making my videos, it's like my fate calls me to make these videos. Tonight I almost forgot because my friend was over, and I was trying to focus on her and myself, and not to think about my current situation. So I kind of almost forgot to make it, and then I came to my room and I was like, what is wrong? What is wrong? What is wrong? Why is my twin not calling me? My manifested twin. Manifested twin and my organic twin are not the same person. Just for you who don't understand that concept, try to understand. Anyways, I realized I haven't made my video tonight, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have to make. So see, guys, whenever I do this, then the energy unblocks, okay, and becomes positive. And that means that what I'm doing is beneficial to someone out there. Someone is learning something, helping someone, and I'm glad to hear that. So like, subscribe, let me know, comment, okay? So I can improve and get better. I'm just currently doing like everything spontaneously. I have no scenario. I always refuse to have scenario, because I'm also channeling a little bit everything around me, and I'm an indigo child. So having a scenario, I don't know, maybe will make my video shorter, more interesting, but this way it is what it is, you know. It's very natural and organic and raw. Um, why am I saying finally? Because after, as I said, maybe it's my organic twin who is blocking my union with my manifested twin now. Maybe he's changed his mind. Maybe he, after all, wants the union. We'll see what happens. I'm just going with the flow. I'm not manipulating anyone or anything. I'm just being myself. And whoever wants to be in union with me will be in union with me. And whatever universe wants me to, Allah, what is decided for me will be, you know, I'm just going with the flow and following my guidance, not refusing anyone, not refusing anything that comes my way. And so when what I was saying is that my manifested twin said about that little girl, and I felt just sick in my stomach when he said that. I knew he was not a sick man, because he can be into old women and young kids at the same time. He can be both psycho. That's not, I mean, that would never be heard of course, so that's not logical. And I know it's not true. It's just that moment, again, through him, the dark forces were trying to disturb me and make me hate him, make me be hurt by him. And I felt hurt, like, because I thought he was looking at my picture, and then suddenly he was distracted and looking at that little girl's picture. And I'm not jealous of children, it's just that this is weird, you know, why would he say that? And I after I finished talking to him, I felt what I not it's not first time what I felt is like when, and this is what I want to share with you guys and teach you this method. It sounds weird, but try it. Is when you feel sick in your stomach, when you feel those bitter butterflies, then try to focus on that dark energy in your stomach, in your guts, and focus on it, and then start praying on it. And I have a special prayer, I will put it in below. It's actually from the Quran. It's very powerful. It is called actually the verse of power, verse of universal power. And when you recite, when I feel this bad vibe, this hit of dark wave that tries to hit me, then I collect it in my gut, which is where I feel it, which is our solar plexus chakra actually. um, and I collect it there, and then I pray. I run to, not bathroom. Bathroom is a bad place to do it. I know this sounds nasty, but try to use a kitchen sink. Close yourself. Close all the doors. Don't let anybody walk in on you, because this energy is really bad that you will release. You don't want anybody else to catch it. And go and open water. Make sure the water is running on your sink, because the water will wash away bad energy. Pray and throw up. Throw up. Throw this energy out of yourself. And that's how you cleanse that negative entity, negative attack, psychic attack. Because that little girl's, whatever is inside of her, that negative entity, negative energy, is trying to interrupt my relationship with my manifested twin, trying to hurt me through, some way. I felt that I needed to collect it, realize it, focus on it, and then just kick it out through me, through my own physical body, like manifest it, take it in. Okay, so like it's hitting me, so like, okay, let's take it. It's like, if you like, imagine if someone is throwing a ball at you, like to hit you, or a rock. If someone is throwing a rock at you to hurt you, then you catch that rock with your hands. Instead of letting it hit it in your face, you just catch it, like you hold it, and then you release it away from both that person or yourself. Just throw it in the on the other side, throw it in the river, throw it where it's not going to be able to hurt anyone. So like when I felt this hit of dark energy, I felt it in my, like a kick in my stomach, like bitter butterflies. I started collecting it, like, okay, come to me. You want to hurt me? Come to me. I feel you. I realize you. I'll keep you in my stomach. I'll run to my kitchen. I will pray. I will open water, which is positive energy, and washing away, negative, dark, and just simply kick it out in a physical form. And it comes as a, I know this sounds nasty, but it comes in the form of bile. It's very like, it's not, it may contain some of food particles, of course, depends what you ate that day, or have, if you have eaten anything, but it's usually watery and kind of bile. Because solar plexus, in that area, you are actually forming bile. It's a negative energy that feels like a sleazy kind of texture to it, so you don't look at it. That's, oh, this is really important to know. Don't look at this crap. Just close your eyes, pray, and let it out in your sink, and then wash it away. Don't look at it. Just let it go down the sink, and that way you're gonna release that psychic attack, and it's not gonna come back anymore. It's gonna be, unless it's really strong and you have to do it twice, but usually one time works. Just to get it. If it's really strong and hitting you, you have to do this sometimes. If you ever seen movie Exorcist, it's kind of what I'm talking about, like in one way, but you're using yourself as a channel because it's attacking you anyway. So you want to grab it and release it, but you got to be very powerful spiritual being to do that. You have to be full of light. 'Cause it cannot stay inside of you if you're full of light. It wants to get out, and then you release it just into a sink and then wash it away. Jesus would take negative energies from humans and send it into pigs, and then the pigs threw themselves off the cliff. This is the same thing. It's like transfer of the negative energy. You actually transfer it into yourself, and then you hit it out and kick it out into abyss, into nothingness. Into a sewage where it belongs. Okay, so that's how I released a little, like, under quotation mark, little girl energy that was trying to hurt me. Then I came back to my room. I felt dizzy, of course, because after you throw up, you kind of lose your, energy, and you're low on, on breath. And I washed my face with cold water and came back to my room, but I felt also release, and I felt good at the same time. And then my manifested twin called me again and was so sweet, and he was talking about me and how much he loved me, how much he loved my picture, how much, like, completely, like, erased what he was saying earlier out of his memory, and was saying what he was supposed to say in the first place. Like, so his energy has been cleared, his mind has been cleared, he was not interrupted. Okay, and what else did I want to tell you? That, okay, so now he's been one more time being intercepted on his side, in his 3D reality, by his uncle supposedly showed up. And here's how this, whatever we call it, devil, how negative energy, uh, how it can be hidden in many forms. How can it mask itself? So it tries to be in a form of a little girl, then it tries to be in a form of an old lady seeking, like, companionship on internet, whatever, seeking advice from a young man, which doesn't make any sense. And then now it's in the form of an pious uncle who is like religious leader, who spends days and nights in the mosque. And as a religious person myself, a spiritual person, I've been always aware of those super spiritual, saint-like guys. Many times they're just disguised devils, really. Even in my own religion, I'm not saying that Islam is immune to that. It's been seen in the mosques, in the churches, those like super priests, like, then you discover his dark side or something. that you wouldn't believe is possible. Those most, because nobody's a saint, you know. That's a warning signal for all of us. Nobody's saint. None of us are angels. We are all on ascension path, but we're trying our best, but we're still humans, you know. Even our prophets, even Moses and Jesus and Abraham and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon them, they were all prophets. They were all men. Walked amongst the market. This is what Quran says. Jesus walked amongst people. They were all making mistakes. They were all tested by devil. They were all having family issues and life issues and struggles and dark nights. And yeah, and we all are going through that. There are teachers of how to deal with struggles and how not to give up. And it's interesting because right now I have a book that I kind of started reading. I'm kind of not having enough time to read it, but it's called, let me tell you what it's called. It talks about these like spiritually dangerous people who are like presenting themselves as religious leaders. Book is called Shadows of the Sacred by Francis Wagan. Shadows of the Sacred. It talks about it says seeing through spiritual illusions. It talks about those saint-like spiritual leaders or spiritual, you know, dogmas and spiritual um, pressures in the religions that turn religion into hardship, you know. And so, anyways, here's what's going on with my manifested. And this is another test we are going through right now, me and him. Especially me. It's very hard for me. Um, I'm sure it's hard for him too. Is his uncle invited him to spend 3 days in the mosque in prayer and contemplation or whatever. Like, and I wonder why he did choose this time now, because Ramadan was just behind the corner. And during Ramadan, the last 10 days of Ramadan, it's a tradition in Islam. It's a regular tradition of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that the last 10 days of Ramadan are to be spent. That was actually a tradition of Abraham as well, before Muhammad, was to spend 10 days in the mosque, like kind of like hermits, like only praying and reading the Quran and reading the scripture and in worship, and no contact with women during this time, no contact with their wives. That's in the Ramadan, because Ramadan is a specially blessed month. Now his uncle chose now, after Ramadan, to keep him in the mosque, basically locked up in the mosque for 3 days, which doesn't make any sense to me, even though I'm Muslim. I don't understand his concept, and he has like a 14, 15 guys in there. And he invited my manifested twin, and my manifested twin says he's never invited him before, years before. And so I have a feeling that his uncle is doing this to push him away from me, to show him that if I contact him, that, you know, to tell him, look, she's like bugging you. You're in worship. You are in a state of purity right now, and why is she bugging you? She's this or she's that. So I'm struggling not to message him during the day, because this is the second day now he's in the mosque. I'm trying not to say anything against his uncle, because he thinks highly of him. And I'm just waiting for this to pass. And so far, it's been hard. First day, he told me he cannot talk to me because it's a sin that he's in the mosque. And that's ridiculous, because not only that is not a tradition of our prophet. Prophet's tradition was that his wife has visited him in the mosque, even at the time of itikaf, which is during the Ramadan, the last 10 days. She would bring him food. She would actually even comb his hair or touch his hand to like partition, or kind of like make a contact with him. But sexual interaction was prohibited. It's like having sexual relationship with women in those 10 days of Ramadan are, of course, out of question, and that makes sense. But complete not having any contact is ridiculous. Even in Ramadan, we see these men there. We all come to the mosque during Ramadan. We don't stop coming to the mosque. There's still women. There, we are upstairs, we are downstairs. There's iftar going on, the breaking of the fast. And there is just a group of men who decide to spend the last days in the mosque. They are not allowed to leave the mosque, but other people can enter mosque and see them and talk to them even. But of course, mosque is not a place for sexual relationships anyway, because mosque, God forbid, because mosque is the place of prayer. So that's a common sense, but these men have turned that into taboo. Like women are not allowed to now, especially like I'm not allowed to message him, not allowed to phone him. I mean, that's ridiculous. So, but I am staying patient because I know this is another trick. This is another way to tell him about, like, I'm not being patient, what she's interrupting you, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not letting that happen. I'm just staying cool, waiting for him to call me. And so far, first day he said it was sin. He's not going to call me for 3 days. He's going to just stay patient and stay there and learn. And I kind of was a little bit, well, upset with that, but I didn't want to let it show because to my knowledge, that's not right. But this is not a time or place to tell him that because he's obviously under influence of his uncle. So, and he's trying to please him, and he's trying to learn as being spiritual man. He wants to learn, and that's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But he is telling me now yesterday that he's not going to contact me for 3 days. I'm like, okay, fine. I don't know. So I've been talking to my friend. How am I going to let that? What is this? What is going on? And then I realized that he will miss me. That he will eventually come out and talk to me. And that's exactly what happened, Alhamdulillah. He actually realized that he's missing me. He walked out of the mosque and called me twice already. This morning and now when I was recording with you. And he told me he misses me and that he will tell me everything that he learned after he gets out, and he gets out tomorrow. So pray for him. Pray for him that he opens his eyes to these illusions that some people are trying to put on him. He's very, very kind in nature, and he's trying to please everyone and I mean, sometimes that's not good. My organic twin, let's go back to my organic twin. He told me once in one of our brief conversations, because we never had like a deep relationship. We were just acquaintances, as he once called me. He said, "You're just my acquaintance." He told me once, he said to me, he accused me of being too nice. And I agree with him. I used to be. Now I've changed. I shed my ego, but at the same time, I've also learned to put some boundaries on how people treat me. Now they treat me better. And one of my very selfish so-called friends told me that used to take advantage of me all the time. She told me, "Wow, you have changed. You have become selfish." That's what she labeled me as, and I was very happy to hear that from her because I have not become selfish. I have become actually more selfless in my life, and I help more people. And sometimes they say you have to help yourself so you can help others, but I'm just choosing like my priorities now. I don't let anybody step on me. I'm not nobody's doormat. And at the same time, I'm shedding ego. Like, I don't show pride. I don't care if I show my vulnerability, if I show my emotions. I don't hide those anymore. But I do set boundaries, and I respect people, and I want the same in return. If they're not respectful and not treating me right, then I stay away from them and I don't give them my time and my energy. Simple as that. So my manifested twin, obviously, I mean, Takro, he hasn't learned that lesson in life yet. That he's still green. Maybe that's why I see the green heart. Maybe he's still green. He's still on learning process. I hope he doesn't learn the hard way. I hope I get close to him soon and described this to him, that sometimes negative energy and devil comes in the form of the nicest, like pious people, old ladies, little children, all kinds of masks it will put on to just break you apart from your true mission and your true union and your true journey. Okay, so that's what I had for this week, folks. Thank you. It's really long video. Cut it in half. Watch it twice. I don't know when you have time. This is how these YouTube videos usually work for me. I just put it in my favorites or add it to my watch list. Watch it when I have time, when I'm driving my car, going shopping in my car, half of it, and then continue watching another half of it. Watch it any way you like. You know, tell me what you think, and I hope you learned something valuable tonight. I love you guys, and thank you for sharing this good energy, good vibe. And I'm so happy now. I can sleep in peace. I've talked to my manifested twin. I hope my organic twin is well. I hope sacred chakra guy is well. I pray for everyone. I pray for you. I pray for your reunion. May God bless you all. May Source always give you abundance as it is, and it can, and it's unlimited. Just trust the source, and always try to do something also for yourself, for others, to push your karma in the positive way. Never sit idle. If something is bothering you, if you can't sleep and you're tossing around, you can't sleep, and your bitter butterflies around you, do something. Throw up bad energy, not too much, of course. This is just on very rare occasions that you have to do. And or get up, throw up, or get up, or or do sit-ups, or do anything that will change your vibration and help you get out of the rut. Don't just sit idle and do nothing and toss around all night in your bed, because that's not going to help you. Because if you try to sleep by force, you're still not going to sleep. So, okay, guys, sleep tight. I'll probably post this on Saturday if I have time. Love you. God bless you. Salam alaikum. Peace be upon you. Salam.